So I'll ask a question in a second, because you're coming to a CrossFit box. We're obviously inviting our members to take part in it, as well as their friends and family, and the wider world, because we'll open this up to everyone. But let's deal with let's do the easy one first. So, what do you think this can help people in the world of CrossFit or fitness? How do you think that they can apply some of these techniques to their daily training or recovery? And then we'll go on to more of outside of that. So if we just deal with, what would you sum it up as to help me in CrossFit or a tough workout or fitness?
Again, it's quite hard to summarise the benefits. But so with the breathing, there's some controlled hyperventilation, and there's some breath holds. If you do any amount of breath holds, but especially if you do multiple rounds, you get an increase in EPO, which is what provokes your body to create red blood cells. So obviously by doing that for a period of time, increase the number of red blood cells in your body, and then that's what carries oxygen to the muscles. So generally there's increased endurance, increased pain tolerance, and that's in terms of both pushing yourself in a workout and pushing yourself in the ice. The mental focus you get also from the techniques, and again, you're sort of tempering your mind in the ice as well. Not only gives you greater capacity to work harder in a workout, but also gives you the capacity to maintain a strong focus when you're working at that level. So, whereas perhaps if your form started to degrade after 10 or 12 reps, you'll be able to push through and maintain your form just with better mental focus.
Sure.
Up, maybe 20 reps. All those sort of things are quite individual. Come out, and probably the most hard evidence-based stuff that we have is he did some research with Radboud University in the Netherlands, and essentially he rocked up to one of the professors there and said, "I can control my immune response," and they're like, "No. It's autonomic, no one can do it, what are you talking about?" But he's quite a persistent dude, and he went in there and they ran the research where essentially he did the breathing techniques, put him in an ice container, they took bloods every 5 minutes, monitoring his respiration, and then they injected him with an endotoxin, which usually most people give you, say, like cold, heavy flu-like symptoms, and in worst case scenario, diarrhea for about 4 hours. And when you're meant to get the worst peak of the symptoms, he ended up with like just a vague headache, and that was it, because he decreased the inflammation and maintained a higher immune system. So increasing inflammation, which obviously helps, decreasing inflammation, which helps your recovery.
Yep.
Increasing your immunity, which means less sick days off training.
Yep.
All that sort of stuff is phenomenal.
Well, I wanted to feature that for people who can attribute it to a sport, because you're coming into a gym. But I was really interested to look at also, because we deal with everyday public, they could be suffering from stress in the workplace, suffering from anxiety in the workplace or outside, or just in general suffer from those kind of conditions. Can you just explain briefly how that might be able to help people who are currently dealing with high stress levels, anxiety issues, etc.?
Absolutely. Yep. So on the stress front, the method really is incredible, because most people's response to dealing with stress is either to ignore it and self-medicate with something, or to go through a talking process with a therapist or a friend or a group of friends. And so that's it's like a 2-step process to change your physiology. With the Wim Hof method, you change the physiology first, and then the physiological changes flow through to the rest of the brain, essentially. So with the breathing, you take yourself into extreme fight or flight.
Yeah.
And during that research I was talking about before, the follow-up research where they had other people that we were trained and going through the same experiment, most of those people showed more adrenaline just by the breathing and the situation than someone doing their first bungee jump.
Oh, wow.
They're going, you're pumping it right up there, so you're at maximum alert, essentially. And then through the retention breath, it drops right back down into the parasympathetic nervous response, which is your housekeeping system, your rest, digest. And so you're taking your body through this big sine wave of experience. And then by sort of going to the two extremes, it brings you into this little balance place again. So it's almost like pushing a little reset button on your whole neurology.
And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to get into those phases.
The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And the more you practice it, the more naturally you just sort of sit there most of the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously, there are times when you want to be more stimulated, and like some of the other guys I know, they're CrossFitters, and they say before they go into a workout, they do the regular warm out, and then they just have a little mental event, and they literally just, they're on fire straight away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to finish off then, because I think we've summarised some of the really important parts of what we feel that we could, guys and others could benefit from this. Do you notice also people who take this on board and hopefully do practice it and use the techniques? Do you find that there's a general change in their attitude as well? Say any time frame from 6 to 12 months later and onwards, where they might develop more confidence because they're in control of situations a bit better, because they can regulate their breathing and heart rate and reactions, which would normally send them into a high stress level. Do you feel that there's a change in confidence in people that you've noticed?
Absolutely. They across the board, I can't think of one person that I've worked with that hasn't, and even if they haven't practiced, like even on a daily basis, even if they're just doing, say, one breath session a week and some cold showers, I can't think of anyone that hasn't had fairly dramatic changes in their whole outlook and their ability to deal with stress, especially in the workplace.
Yeah.
But in the whole of life, life can be pretty stressful.
We all juggle with time. Most people nowadays are time poor, but just with small daily routines, however small, they're still keeping that method that they're learning close to them. So it doesn't mean that you have to go through this massive, grand recap. You can just take small segments of what they've learned and then just keep it ticking away. And then maybe on a weekend when they've got more time, they could go into more of a meditative state or something along those lines.
Absolutely. And there is, like they call it mindset, but it is essentially a meditative element to the method as well. But it's more sort of automatic than imposed upon your process. I do the breathing pretty much every day, and if I'm, it can take 12 minutes, or you can go for a longer session if you like. And there's a little short moment where you essentially do one round of breathing and then some push-ups and then just move on, bang, and that's like 4 minutes. And most people have 4 minutes to keep their head right and their physiology, but that's 4 minutes is not too much in terms of cost benefit.
Well, I was going to say, if you notice the benefit from it, and why would you not? You can find that time. Okay,
that'd be fantastic.
All right, good. Thanks for your time, Eden. Take care, mate. Cheers. Bye bye.